Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 7, Negan Kills Maggie and Glenn TV Shocker. So before everybody goes completely crazy and starts sending me hate mail, this is a lot of speculation, a few hypotheticals with a little bit of mounting visual evidence. There are some facts that are starting to accumulate out there, the ring and a few other things. But once again, I just want to discuss this and get it on the table because a lot of people are avoiding the topic, and this would be the greatest shock in television history, in my opinion. So bear with me, leave your comments below. Let's take a look at a few of these things together and take a little bit of a journey down memory lane. So Maggie and Glenn, perhaps the most iconic couple in television history. I mean, they've been together for multiple seasons. You can make an argument that Rick and whoever is there as well too, but Rick's had a lot of whoever's, and it has been Maggie and Glenn will walk to the end of the earth as proven to try to track Maggie down. So let's move forward and talk about the ring topic. This is probably the second most famous ring in the history of movie and television. So Maggie's wedding / engagement ring. We all remember the scene where he cut off the walker's fingers, took the ring, maybe not the most romantic, but it is a zombie apocalypse. But recently that's come under scrutiny. You can see the ring image on the left side, Herschel's pocket watch on the right, and then down in the bottom corner, what people are saying could be either or. I don't think it's a pocket watch. I mean, it looks dented, it looks beaten up, unless those are like some bezels in there or some stones. I would lean more toward the ring or maybe nothing at all. So let's talk about Glenn and the death scene. In the comics, Glenn was selected, we know, and he said, bring him up. So he was moved away from the group. That's become a constant topic of debate as well, too, whether or not they stay in their current position. But the question I would ask all of you is, if Glenn was selected, would Maggie just watch Glenn die or vice versa? I know in the comics that's the way it happened, but these characters seem to be a little bit different. Take a look once again at the positioning of the group. You can see the light coming over from the right, so even if they don't move them, you can see Maggie and Abraham are both right beside Rick. So we'll take a look at Rick's face. This is a steady topic of debate. Once again, is the blood on the side of his face? Is it Lucille splatter? Did Negan touch his face with the bat? But I'm going to give you a couple more options. One is, could it be Maggie taking out her vengeance after Glenn died? I know that's what happened in the comic. You can see she calls him a coward and actually says, you might as well just killed him yourself. So she blames it on Rick. Now, I'm going to say that that is not the case in this situation because Maggie is way, way too weak. She could barely even move. Ironically enough, Maggie's actress Lauren Cohan appeared to be emotionally weakened at the most recent Comic-Con in New York when Chris Hardwick directed a question along the lines of how Maggie would react to Negan if she was in better physical condition. She totally did not hear the question, started sobbing. Stephen Yeun had to comfort her. Sasha was actually over there crying as well too. So it was a little bit of an emotional display. I mentioned in a previous video, if you guys get a chance, check out the link to that. Really, really emotional. If it was just Glenn, I don't think she would have reacted that way, but I think it has something to do with her. So the question always gets brought up, Maggie can't die. The Spoiling Dead's fan page says so. Well, this is exactly what they said. So you can see the characters they had listed in episode 7.5, location Alexandrian Hilltop. Maggie and Sasha are shown living at the hilltop. We assume Maggie recovers. No pictures, no anything, just a rumor that they saw Maggie there and they think that's part of the storyline, so they make the assumption that Maggie recovers. So once again, no pictures of Eugene, no pictures of Glenn, no pictures of Abraham, and no pictures of Maggie. Just the word at Spoiling Dead fan page says so. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. They have a tremendous reputation, but wouldn't that be the ultimate curveball for AMC to sort of switch it up a little bit and kill off Maggie and make Sasha the leader of Hilltop? After all, Spoiling Dead's fan page did say Sasha was up there as well. Maybe they're keeping Maggie up there as the ultimate bluff because this would just be a shock throughout television history, no doubt about it. So let's go back and make the argument that Maggie could die. So remember, Glenn interrupted and Negan said the first one's free. It's an emotional moment. I get it. However, if anybody else interrupts, we know exactly what's going to happen. Negan is going to waste no time putting the smack down. So he will shut that shit down, no exceptions. So I know many of you have stated there is no way they will beat down a pregnant woman on television with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. And you know what? You may be absolutely right. It may be too gruesome. But it doesn't mean that Negan will not find an alternate way to kill Maggie. Keep in mind, he said, anyone that interferes, I will shut it down, no exceptions. Negan does still have a pistol, and we speculated that that pistol might not be there in the sneak peek that we just saw. Could he possibly take it out? I know it's speculated that he shoots Glenn. He could shoot Abraham, depending on who he selects. But possibly Maggie interferes, and he shoots Maggie. So the question I ask you once again, would Maggie just watch Glenn beat down without interfering? We remember from the comic book, once Glenn took the bat one time, he was still able to say the words, Mag, Maggie. Now, the popular theory across the internet right now is that we hear at 24 seconds in on a sneak peek, appears to be Maggie say Glenn. A lot of people are making the assumption that she's crying. However, could Maggie have been hit? Could Maggie have been shot and her dying breath is saying Glenn that you can barely hear because she doesn't say the whole word? It's just want to throw this out there for speculation. I'd love to see your comments. Let's debate this. The modern day Romeo and Juliet could take place. It would be one of the most epic shockers in television history because we are all on board with Glenn and Abraham, and that's the only thing that we're seeing. And sometimes when you look at something hard enough, you miss everything else that could be going on around. So I know there's glaring facts to say it can't be Maggie. The Spoiling Dead fans page has said it's not Maggie. They can't do that on television. It can't be Maggie. So what should AMC do? They should actually make it Maggie. Not that I'm a fan of that. I know some of you Maggie and Glenn fans hate me already, but this is just for speculation. My name's Killshot. Give this video a thumbs up. Peace.